and simply obliged to take a picture with one of these silent guards, they don't mind, right? Or do they?
Get off the bed!
But first things first, let's get it on. The Queen's Guard is the guard of the monarch family in England. They are under the orders of the Ministry of Defence, and like others, they are sometimes sent to combat missions, but in a standard camouflage uniform. Today, the life of the Queen or the royal family is not in danger, and therefore the guardsmen perform mostly ceremonial duties. However, guards' traditions were born about 3 centuries ago, when the British monarchs used to go on the battlefield. Therefore, the soldiers for the guard were carefully selected, and they were the best in the army. Today, the Royal Guard consists of 5 infantry regiments and 2 equestrian regiments. Foot guards wear those red uniforms and black hats, which probably make it impossible to see anything at all, but this impression is deceptive. Round the clock, these soldiers guard the Buckingham Palace and other royal residences, as well as a repository of royal regalia in the Tower. By the way, by the number of guardsmen, you can determine whether Queen Elizabeth is in the palace or not. If Her Majesty is inside the palace, 4 guards can be found at the entrance. If not, then only 2. The sentries are on duty for 2 hours, then they rest for 4 hours. Remaining completely still for such a long time isn't an easy task, and the guardsmen really have an amazing stamina. Judge for yourself, even if one of them faints, and this often happens because of the heat in the uniforms, the others will not even move. And not because they don't care about their friend, those are just the rules, and the guards have no right to move from their place without an order. Using this, tourists often come to them during their service. Well, you know, to take a closer look and take a couple of pictures.
Get off the fence! Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back!
And there's nothing wrong with that, but you should never, ever touch the Royal Guard, because a guard will remain silent and indifferent exactly until this moment.
Get back from the Queen's Guard! Do not touch the Queen's Guard!
And these guys have weapons, and they sometimes use them. However, the British royal family are not the only monarchs who have their own guards in unusual clothing. Let's have a look at some other examples. Swiss Guard. When you hear the phrase Swiss Guard, you expect to see soldiers guarding some palace or royal person in Switzerland. However, instead they are in the middle of the Italian peninsula, in the smallest state in the world, the Vatican, protecting the head of the Catholic Church. And it all began with Pope Julius II, who was a very warlike leader and waged wars throughout the pontificate. Of course, he needed to have his own army, but he didn't want to hire people from his country because he was afraid of a possible conspiracy. So he decided to hire 150 Swiss soldiers who were considered the best in Europe. So in 1506, the Pontifical Swiss Guard appeared, and today it can be considered the oldest army on duty in the world. In this army there are now 110 people, all of them by tradition Swiss citizens and Catholics. Despite the fact that the Vatican is inside Italy, the official language of the Guard is German. The Pontifical Swiss Guard only once took part in a military operation in 1527, and since then has never acted like a real army. But don't think that these guys in unusual costumes and berets are just acting so that you can take a couple of photos for your Instagram. Of course, they do participate in solemn and diplomatic ceremonies, but this is only a small part of their service. The main purpose of the Guard is to protect the Pope, and this is serious business. Don't forget that the Pope is one of the most protected people in the world. The Spanish Royal Guard. The Spanish Royal Guard is considered one of the oldest guard units in history. According to various sources, it first appeared in the 7th or 11th century, which is a long time ago. This is an independent regiment of the Spanish Armed Forces, whose sole purpose is to protect the King of Spain and the royal family. The detachment consists of 1,900 highly skilled and disciplined military personnel, and despite the fact that the guards regularly take part in many ceremonial events, it is is considered one of the most functional and combat-capable regiments in the world. Don't be fooled by their fancy uniform. Many of the guards are former members of special units and participated in modern wars. The Guard consists of a diverse mix of servicemen, including members of the Royal Marines, the Navy, and representatives of paratroops from the Air Force. So, don't go around joking with these amigos. Monaco Guard. Despite the fact that the protection and security of Monaco is guaranteed by the French military, the monarch has a small armed regiment for his personal protection and the security of the prince's palace. The Palace Guard of Monaco was originally founded by Prince Honora IV in 1817 to protect the principality, but today its functions are limited to the safety of the head of state. In addition, military personnel of the corps participate in the protection of members of the judiciary, who make justice on behalf of the Prince of Monaco. The company consists of 112 people, 3 officers, 15 non-commissioned officers, and 94 soldiers. As a rule, many of them used to serve in the French armed forces, where they gained the necessary experience. Interestingly, in the ranks of the Guard, there is even a regiment of motorcyclists for quick reaction and escort of the princely